Now I've got it all. I've had enough, I'm giving in. The sun is shining, melting the clouds away. Got me some blue sky action. I'm breathing today. I know I'm burning. This is my final day. I'm gonna go out smiling, a king for a day. A king for a day.
I love this story. Watergate. Federal marshals have arrested a group of conservative activists in New Orleans, allegedly attempting to wiretap the offices of Senator Mary Landrieu.
Charges that carry up to a $250,000 fine and 10 years in prison.
James O'Keefe was the mastermind. The U.S. attorney says O'Keefe was recording with his cell phone.
His accomplices were dressed up as telephone repairmen.
But O'Keefe said he did not think he or his team did anything wrong.
This guy's getting all his investigative journalism ideas from porn movie plots.
Freeze! Hands up!
One guy grabbed my arms, yanked them behind my back, and handcuffed me.
Wipe that f***ing smirk off your face. You're in trouble, you know that, right?
We're just filmmakers, comedians. We're making a YouTube video. I tried to explain that I'd gone to the federal building to expose corruption, to uphold the law, not to break it. My motives were patriotic, I told him. His indifference was frustrating, unnerving. I knew the meaning of the word dread, but I had never experienced it before. Now I did. I could see how easy it was to break a prisoner. I was close.
Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP?
With my legs chained together, I could only shuffle. With each shuffle, the chain pulled painfully against my legs.
Take them over to the parish prison. See if they got any food. If they don't worry about it.
I was not a citizen journalist any longer. I was a prisoner, a nobody, like all the other nobodies sealed off from the world in the concrete caverns of a federal building in New Orleans.
What y'all in for?
We're journalists.
Journalists? What on earth they got you on?
I have no idea. I haven't been charged with anything yet.
You haven't been charged? I ain't never seen nothing like this before.
Do you have anything to say about the charges against you? Why were you in Senator Landrieu's office?
Shall set me free.
O'Keefe there saying, quote, "The truth shall set me free."
Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last lady. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP?
Who's paying for the legal services?
I have no idea at this point.
You don't know who's paying you?
I have no idea. I haven't been paid a penny. As a matter of fact, I gave one of them $60 so he could take a cab. So I'm out of pocket $60 on this if you know somebody who wants to pay me.
We don't try cases in the press, U.S. Attorney Jan Mann said at the time about my case.
You did commit a crime, correct?
Didn't you break the law?
Who funds you?
Sir, are you paid?
Don't go there.
But while she was spinning, her colleague Sal Pericone was anonymously blogging at a Times-Picayune newspaper website. Sure, O'Keefe should be punished. Throw the book at them.
Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Get out with OPP.
James O'Keefe says he has proof of corruption in the U.S. Attorney General's office. He says the prosecutors who worked his case made improper comments online about him during his trial.
Effective next Tuesday, my resignation as United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Louisiana will take place.
Sal Pericone, one of Jim Letton's top lieutenants, admitted to posting online rants under an alias about open investigations and criminal suspects.
O'Keefe says he's filing complaints against them to try and get them disbarred.
Both Jan Mann and Sal Perricone have resigned from practicing law in the Eastern District Federal Court.
The judge referring to him and his co-defendants today as, quote, journalists.
You resigned in disgrace. You resigned in disgrace, sir.
You're a nasty little cowardly spud. All of you. You're hobbits. You are scum.
One other point your critics make is they say that you're animated by resentment over race.
That has been absolutely debunked. They had to issue retractions. And the type of journalism that we do is to counter the false narratives and the slurs that happen like that. Use journalism as a platform to slur James O'Keefe.
On the darkest day of my life to that point, I found myself in a pew at St. Gabriel the Archangel Church in Saddle River, New Jersey. 26 years old, living at home, stuck in Jersey, mired in debt, abandoned by my allies, estranged from my friends, unable to sleep, unwilling to eat, my career in tatters, crushed by the weight of it all, and praying not for a miracle, but just some relief. Felon, terrorist, white supremacist, racist, pervert. Was this really worth it? I knew that I too had to surrender to God. If I did so, I could withstand the powerful forces aligned, fairly or not, against the citizen journals. I asked myself whether I could justify taking the risks anymore, whether I could endure the lies of my enemies and the defamation of the machine. But I knew then that as long as I had my family and my faith, I was going to be okay. I immediately felt renewed. British writer Freya India sagely describes suffering as a requisite for growth. It compels self-reflection, transformation, and transcendence. It precedes our resurrection, dragging us down before reviving us as wiser, more lucid versions of ourselves.
He's back! Not Bin Laden, James O'Keefe.
A recent trip by investigative reporter James O'Keefe. This video has caught a lot of attention online.
Filmmaker James O'Keefe donning an Osama bin Laden mask.
Wading across the Rio Grande to show how easy it is to evade border security.
Sheriff West and its deputies and their F-150s escorted me to a godforsaken spot 60 miles southeast of El Paso. Never less than poker-faced, the good sheriff said no more than he had to. As tough as he was, West had a healthy fear of the border country. The positioning of his deputy sheriff said as much. Lean and eagle-eyed, his denim shirt blowing in the wind, a cigarette dangling from his lip. West did not carry a rifle. He relied on a .45 revolver strapped to a brown waist belt sheltered by his ample belly. You know why I carry a .45 caliber handgun, he asked? Because they don't make anything bigger.
It's interesting because an American reporter named James O'Keefe, dressed as Osama bin Laden, walked across the border of the Rio Grande River undetected. Does something like that concern you?
Actually, sir, he was not undetected. He was known to the border security agencies who saw him.
Then why
walk
didn't
across.
they stop him when he came across?
Sir, I can't answer that question.
No, you can't answer it because they weren't there to stop him.
On December 3rd, 2014, I flew into JFK Airport, New York from overseas. Upon disembarking, I casually followed the crowd to the passport control area and inserted my passport into the device that verifies it. To my surprise, there was an X straight through all my information. Am I being detained, I asked?
James, I need to see your passport. Give me your bags.
Sir, can I ask what this is about? Sensing some crazy and possibly illegal behavior from these agents, I slid my hand into my pocket and attempted to turn on the video option of my iPhone. He saw me do it.
If you touch that f***ing phone, I will have you arrested.
Once again, I had a large X stamped on my passport document. This agent asked if I had ever passed the border before in disguise.
You're like a shock reporter? You basically go to the extremes to prove a point?
Seattle was deja vu all over again. This is the 6th straight time I've been asked to be inspected, I told the Customs and Border Patrol agent. The questions grew progressively more intrusive. I asked whether these reoccurring detentions were a form of retaliation.
No, we're not retaliating against you. Why would you say that?
Did you make the news for the whole, southern border stuff?
Yeah, I did, I answered matter-of-factly. We do YouTube videos and expose stuff like that. Is that why they keep stopping me?
No. It's a free country.
But as I leaned over to accept my passport, I stole a glance at his computer. The words that caused the agents to tense up when they read them. Subject is an amateur reporter engaged in publicity stunts, including unlawfully entering the United States dressed like an ISIS terrorist and crossing the Rio Grande dressed like Osama bin Laden.
But I don't feel like dancing when the old man plays. My heart could take a chance, but my 2 feet can't find a way. You think that I could muster up a little soft shoe get this way? But I don't feel like dancing, no sir, no dancing today. Don't feel like dancing, even if I find nothing left to do. Don't feel like dancing, we can tell when I'm living the mood. Don't feel like dancing, let me out with the one in the bed and down with you.
To be a whistleblower is to step outside the great chain of being, to join not just another religion, but another world. Sometimes this other world is called the margins of society, but to the whistleblower, it feels like outer space. By far, the question the muckraker hears most is also the most critical question. What can I do? To that question, there is now a more challenging answer. You can wear a hidden camera and blow the whistle on a deserving employer through Project Veritas.
This isn't something I wanted to do. This is something I felt I had to do. This is a hill worth dying on. Are you afraid?
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm afraid because my faith lies in God and not man.
Jody, come on out! Jody! Come on out, Jody! Jody, HHS whistleblower! Come on, Jody! David Johnson, Hasbro whistleblower! Come on out, David! Come on, David!
The unsung hero, the teacher, the nurse, the mother, the honest cop, the hard worker at lonely, underpaid, unglamorous, unpublicized jobs. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, and 4 becomes 8. The same experiences that tortured you engender trust with those who come to you.
We are supposed to be the people that bring light to corruption.
Because I noticed that I was in a very unique position in space and time to just do something to protect the Republic.
Kerry Ford, CNN whistleblower, come on out!